There we go.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. Today I've got Emily on my podcast, and she's going to be sharing her spiritual journey, talking all about spirituality and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'll hand it over to you to introduce yourself.
Hi, so my name's Emily. I'm at soul underscore and underscore wisdom underscore, should make that easier, on Instagram. And yeah, I explore all things spirituality, sustainability, health, wellness, and I'm just excited to be on someone else's podcast.
I know, I'm excited too. You're my first guest, so this is really fun. So yeah, and I think we've got quite a lot of stuff in common actually in terms of like spirituality, sustainability, and that kind of thing. So I feel like it's a good match. um, yeah. So I think first of all, like to kind of like go into it a little bit, how did you kind of get into spirituality and all that kind of stuff? Like what was the process?
So this is actually quite a big question that I'm trying to answer myself because I forgot how it happened. And I think spirituality comes to us without us realizing how,
Yeah.
because it's always been there deep down, but different things trigger it. So I did experience anxiety about 4 or 5 years ago, and I tried. I'm very natural, like I like natural remedies. So I was trying yoga, I was trying to meditate, but it was way too much for me. Like I didn't want to be in touch with my thoughts at that time because they were too negative. So I guess it maybe planted a seed at that time, and then I carried on through life. Probably, did yoga for the physical benefits, and then
Mm-hmm.
found it naturally helped with my mind. And then I met a incredible friend in my second year of university, and she knew so much about like horoscopes, and spirituality. And I guess it just came to me that way, and I kind of took on everything that she knew,
Mm.
like tarot card readings, and just self-development and spirituality has come together for me as one.
Yeah.
And just by reading so much, that's what's brought me closer to it, as well as studying philosophy. So I think it's multiple things that have just manifested in my mind.
Yeah. I think that's the case though with spirituality. It's never just like one thing. I feel like when you get into it, it's kind of like a whole bunch of different things all together. So like astrology, all the horoscopes, and then
Yeah.
yeah, obviously there's like the deeper healing side of everything. And yeah. But yeah, I agree. I think it just kind of come to us when we need it rather than us being like, right, I'm gonna start going into spirituality now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more of a subconscious thing for sure. I don't think we can really be like, okay, I'm going to start being spiritual today. That's
Yeah,
not really how it
exactly.
works. It's
Exactly.
definitely a process.
Yeah. And like out of the things that you kind of explored so far, like what's like your favorite area, do you feel?
Ooh, that's hard. I guess I try and think about how I can implement spirituality into my life. So, how I can make changes in my own life. So, because spirituality is kind of unveiling our inner consciousness that maybe we're not connected with, I think a lot about the intentions behind my actions.
Hmm.
So how pure they are, and whether it's like an ego thing, and not ego in the sense of it being bad, because we all have an ego. We all have ego drives to be liked and please other people. But I try and analyze now, like whether I'm acting out of love or fear or guilt. Because, for example, I'm a people pleaser naturally, and I don't want to hurt anyone. I think a lot of us are like this. But now I'm like, okay, that is an egotistical drive to please people.
Hmm.
And I want to be my most authentic self with this person. So if that means, giving myself a day to not reply to someone's message or whatever, I'm going to do that. So I guess I try and analyze the spiritual meaning of my intentions and actions,
Yeah.
um, and just try and be a better person and make the world a better place. I think that's the best thing we can do with it. Yeah, I think that's my answer anyway.
Yeah, no, that's nice. Like you kind of applying the learning to your life and obviously being like conscious about that kind of thing. I'm just interested as well. So you said like you think that we can naturally be people pleasers. Do you think that is like a natural thing, or is it something that we kind of develop as like a strategy?
I love this question so much, and I have tried to analyze this for a while. I've even said to my mum, what has happened in my childhood which makes me think that I need to please other people? And I honestly feel like I want to serve them over myself. What is that? Has there been a point in my life where I had to be the mum or I don't know, the person in control? And I don't, unless I haven't got deep inside my psyche enough to realize what it is, I'm not sure. So I feel like there must be some natural inclination, like a personality trait that we have, like plus a trigger, and they come together and they make us a people pleaser. But I haven't got my trigger yet. I don't know what caused it, but my mum always told me, like even when I was very, very young, when I was 10 years old, I would help my teachers out, and that I would listen to them and their stresses and their worries. So if I was doing that at 10 years old, it makes me think, have I just been born this way?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, there's a good book that I'm reading at the moment. I don't know if you've read it, called Five Personality Patterns. And one of them goes into like the people pleasing side of things. And yeah, it's quite interesting because I think for me, like, I would say that I've also been a people pleaser, but I can kind of see why that would come up for me. But yeah, I think I agree. Like maybe it is kind of like we've got some sort of gene or like predisposition or something for it. And then yeah, like there's a trigger that kind of continues and I don't know, makes it blow up at some point.
But at least we know, like when we realize it, we can then try and not change it, but adapt to it, and then become not so much of a people pleaser. And there is a way to overcome these things, but it's just realizing it and realizing you can let go of that trait you have and that it doesn't actually serve you and can be dysfunctional. And I think that's the best thing when you realize these things.
Yeah, definitely. Just like recognizing. I think that's like the whole thing with spirituality, though. It's kind of just like understanding yourself more and like going into the depth of it and like changing what you want to. Yeah, it's interesting. And I think on that, do you feel like you've had like a spiritual awakening? Like, I know these things are hard to explain, but like, yeah, do you feel like you've kind of had one?
Yes, but I think it's just a matter of life experience.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you go through a lot of hurt and pain, you have to question the origins of it. And I
Yeah.
think we naturally blame other people's actions for that. And we think, okay, they did that to me, they're a bad person, this was bad for me. But if we try and like delve into the reasons behind these things, that they actually serve you and make you a better person and they make you stronger, you're getting more in touch with your spiritual self through that analysis.
Yeah.
Some people might see that as like, psychoanalyzing yourself, whatever. But I think you're getting down to your true self, because when we let other people hurt us, that isn't our true self. That's just our ego being hurt.
Yeah.
And if we let those things go, without resenting someone, and we forgive them and we allow it to pass, we're being so true to ourselves. And yeah, I just think through life experience, I've had spiritual revelations. Like I have them every day. But it's just a matter of like being in uncomfortable situations and uncomfortable places that maybe are out of alignment with you, and yeah, just being able to analyze the reasons why these things happen to you, and if they're taking you on a certain path, whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm a big believer that like people come into our lives for a reason. So yeah, maybe we get triggered by them for whatever reason, and it's kind of to teach us lessons and yeah, all that kind of thing. And I mean, since like you started going into spirituality and like more depth, what do you feel like has been the biggest change for you?
Okay, so definitely I'm more positive than I ever have been in my life. And I think that's just a matter of implementing, like I said, what spirituality says. So a lot of spirituality is like acting in alignment with yourself, ridding yourself of the ego, or at least analyzing your thoughts and being like, is this useful to me? And is this, dysfunctional. So now that I'm more in touch with that, and that's not just a matter of meditating on it, it's a matter of like habitually changing your thoughts.
Yeah.
I have cut a lot of people out of my life. I've cut a lot of opportunities out. I say no so much more. And so my brain is so much more focused on what's good in my life. And I think being in such alignment, I'm trying to think of your question now. Yeah, has made me such a more positive person because I'm being true to myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would love for anyone to explore spirituality for just that reason, because you can literally be so at peace with yourself and not hold on to any guilt for saying no, or moving on without someone. And you can give to the world in a much more like authentic way as well.
Yeah, totally. I sort of see it as like peeling back the layers of like what we've been, I don't know, how we've been expected to show up or whatever, and then just like, yeah, like you said, having those boundaries in place, be like, right, this doesn't serve me, like this person doesn't serve me, this opportunity is not right for me, and yeah, just kind of focusing on you, I think, for one. So like going inwards. So definitely. And I think for me recently I've been kind of having what I perceive as a spiritual awakening, and like the sense of inner peace, it's like, it's crazy because you're just like, all this stuff's going on, but yeah, like it's like you've got this peace beneath it all. It's the weirdest thing ever, but so good. And yeah, definitely, I think it's definitely something for people to explore, like even if they don't believe in like the whole astrology stuff, like all that side of it, just the fact that like trying to figure out who you are authentically is like the thing that I think is the most important part of it, really.
100%. I agree.
Yeah. And on that, do you think like it's something that everybody would go into? Like, do you feel like it's kind of something that just comes to you when you need it, or can you initiate that if you wanted to?
Yeah. So I think we're all spiritual beings, but we've just lost it. So we've lost our spiritual selves, or they're there, but we don't have access to it, like conscious access to it, because of conditioning, because there's so much noise, because we're so busy all the time, doing stuff for other people, not checking in with ourselves. So it's always there, but we just have to open ourselves up to it, because I think at the end of the day, when we die, our body's gone, but we remain in some way, like our soul. I think our soul's going to live on, or at least our spirit. If it's been in this world, like it's got to be floating around somewhere. And I know a lot of people choose religion or spirituality, and I think they actually come together. And all the religions and spirituality, they are different ways of conveying the same message, which is just connecting to our true selves and higher power, and we are knowing that we are all one. So yeah, I need to keep not losing my train of thought and thinking about your question.
It's fine. I think
yeah,
I don't even know what my question was either, but yeah, I think it's interesting. I think I definitely agree with you on that. And yeah, I think it's the thing, like energy can't be created or destroyed. So yeah, I think there's always, yeah, like after we die, there's always going to be energy around. And yeah, I think we can access it if we want, but yeah, it's being open to that, like you were saying. Yeah.
People seem to be quite scared of it because I think it has associations with like being a hippie, or the moon and the stars and but like at the end of the day, there is like empirical backing behind it. Like for example, I don't know too much about the moon changes and Mercury retrograde stuff, but if the moon moves in line with the water, or the water reflects off the moon reflects off the water, something like this, and we're made up of water, a lot of our body's made of water, that means when the moon changes and our mood changes, there must be some empirical backing for that. So it's not all juju weird stuff.
No, definitely. I think, well, yeah, because like the moon controls like the tides and everything. And if you think, yeah, we've got so much water within us, I always like imagine like a mini little tide happening like internally. And yeah, I think it can explain a lot of things. And even like if you don't fully agree with it, it's something interesting to sort of
explore,
have a different perspective on. Yeah, it is interesting. And I think like on the point from before, so about like energy, like kind of being around forever, do you feel like we have like past lives? Like, do you believe in that kind of stuff?
Yes, because I read an incredible book called Many Lives, Many Masters, and it shows that the subconscious fears we have in this life might actually originate from past lives who haven't yet what's the word? They haven't solved the issues yet. So imagine in our past life we were someone who served up, say I was a monk in my past life and I was literally serving other people. That was my duty, that was my goal in life, that's what I did. Maybe that's why I feel this need to serve now. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, like I'm agnostic in every single way, but either our present experience is to do with things we haven't solved ourselves in our past right now, or it could be our past lives. Yeah, I'd like to think that reincarnation is possible as well, like jumping into different people's bodies, or yeah, but I think our souls maybe have come from somewhere else and they're still developing. And I think one of my friends actually says she feels like she's an old soul, like she's been existed for a while. And I guess I feel like quite young soul. I don't really feel like I've just come out of the womb, you know, but yeah, I think it's possible, definitely. If energy is always there, that means our soul must be popping around somewhere to then develop itself.
And I think I'm with your friend. I definitely feel like I'm an old soul. Sometimes I forget that I'm 19 and I'm like, oh.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, maybe we'll never like fully understand it, but I think, yeah, there's something to it. And something I'm looking into at the moment is kind of like generational healing, like trauma healing, that kind of thing. And yeah, I think a lot of it just does come from our past and is kind of passed through. Yeah, no, it is really interesting. And I think to wrap it up, what would be like your advice to anybody who wants to go into this and like wants to start exploring it all? And yeah.
I would say don't let the stigma around spirituality scare you away in the same way that religion might scare you, because spirituality isn't just what's on paper, it's literally just connecting to yourself and understanding yourself more. So maybe like read a bit, or like connect with people who are already spiritual that you know and you trust, and see what resonates with you, and like don't pressure yourself to, you know, understand everything about spirituality, because it is a journey that I'm like, I have no idea what's going on half the time. But yeah, just read and be open to signs that the universe is giving you, like the people that are coming along, the things that are happening to you. Like nothing is positive or negative, but thinking makes it so. I think that's Shakespeare. And everything that comes along, just analyze, don't analyze it, be like, oh, okay, what does this mean? Like, how is this serving me? How's this benefiting me? And I think the more we question our lives and whatever's coming our way, the more spiritual we're becoming naturally. So yeah, just like check in with yourself, be open to it, and just take the pressure off and see what comes your way.
Nice. I like that. So just being curious to everything. And yeah, no, I like that. Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much. It's been super interesting. I don't usually have these kind of conversations with people. So thank you.
You're more than welcome. And I can't wait for you to do my podcast too.
Yeah, that'd be exciting, but I'm also scared because now the pressure's on me.
No, I know. Just be yourself.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Where's the best place to put my phone? On my mug.
That's what I did.
Yeah. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Please ask the host to give you permission to record. I am. Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, you're the host. That's why.
Yeah, I have recorded it. So.
Okay, so we're fine.
We're good.
It's a double. Okay, cool. Hello, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm glad to have you on here and have more discussions.
Yeah, no, it'll be exciting. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, but a bit nervous as to what's coming up. But
Yes. So please could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and a fun fact?
okay, so I'm Kristi. My Instagram is Kristi Bergman Coaching. And yeah, I mean, work-wise, I'm a life and mindset coach for young adults. So I help people with like recognizing their worth, reclaiming their confidence, and just generally trying to create a life that aligns with what they want. But I guess other than work, I would say I'm quite a creative person. I'm into spirituality, sustainability, like working on my own self-development, that kind of thing. And a fun fact about me would be I sleep diagonally, which is a bit random, but there we go.
What actually made you start sleeping like that? Was there a reason?
I have no idea. I think I just find it really comfortable. Like for some reason, when I'm in bed and I'm lying diagonally, I feel like I'm straight, but I'm not. It's
Huh.
the weirdest thing. I don't know. I really don't know.
I mean, I don't feel like it's going to harm anyone, so I think you're
Well,
good.
no.
Okay, let's begin with the soul search. So please could you tell us any morning rituals or evening rituals you have that you do every day?
Yeah. So I think I'm more of a morning ritual kind of person. So I usually get up about, well, between 6 and 7. Like I kind of at the moment I'm letting myself wake up naturally as we're going into autumn and that kind of thing. And I usually journal when I get up first thing. So just kind of doing stream of consciousness. So like brain dumping everything and having gratitude and just set my intentions for the day. Then after that, I might exercise, I might read a little bit, or I'll just go grab a brew and start working. So it's not like the most advanced morning ritual, but I think that's pretty much it. In terms of evenings, it's kind of just like winding down again, like reading, might journal if I feel like it, might meditate. I usually meditate more in the evenings. So yeah, I think that kind of sums that up.
I've heard a lot about this brain dumping thing, but I tried it and it didn't work. So could you tell me more about this?
Yeah, so what I do is I just write like 3 pages of anything that comes to mind, like however I'm feeling, like just something I'm worried about, like literally anything. Um, as a way to just like clear my head. So it could be like all the things I need to do in the day and that kind of thing. I think it takes practice. I used to start off doing like mind maps to begin with, and just like mind mapping how I was feeling or what I needed to do. And now I just kind of like go with the flow, write about it. And I think the key is to not look at what you've written either, because you're just trying to get it out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, and I mean obviously it might not work for everybody, but I think it does for me in terms of just like clearing my head.
Mm.
Yeah, moving into that space of like peace.
That sounds so nice. Okay, next question. Please could you say what your dream career is, or maybe whether you're living it now or are you manifesting it?
Yeah, so I recently started doing coaching full time, and I think this is my dream career. I think obviously I've got like goals in terms of where I want to take it, but yeah, just helping people, having an impact. And I think something I would like to incorporate into my career or business in some way is like the sustainability side of things. So like focusing on the planet. At the moment it's very like people oriented, which is great. I think that's like the best place to start, but I think I'd like to link the planet to it a little bit as well. So maybe that's kind of the dreams that I have in terms of it, but I think yeah, I'm really enjoying it at the moment. So I think starting the dream, manifesting,
Yeah,
like keeping going with it. Yeah,
that's always a good start. You just have to look out for the opportunities, don't you?
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so following on from this question, what does success mean to you?
Oh, see, I always ask my clients this question, and I always struggle to answer it myself as well. I think there's different sides to success. I think there's obviously the more like materialistic side of things, like, oh, well, you want a big house or a car or whatever it might be, that kind of are pointers for it. But I think I think for me, it's more of a feeling. It's more this like sense of freedom and just being happy with what I'm doing, and yeah, being fulfilled and having an impact in the way that like I feel like aligns best with me. I think you've kind of got to master the feeling side of things first, like the doing side, before you can have like the materialistic things. But yeah, I think the feelings are more important for me personally.
Do you feel like it's a sense of fulfilling your purpose?
Yeah, I think it's difficult though, because I think we can have many different purposes throughout our lives. So yeah, I think it's kind of fulfilling my values maybe in a way, like having an impact is something that I really value, and just being authentic. So by having alignment within those areas, I think then showing up how I want to. Yeah, so I think maybe a little bit like fulfilling my purpose, but then I don't know if there is like just one specific purpose that we have.
That's a really nice answer. I like that. Okay, next question. What makes you feel at peace?
I think lots of things. There's lots of things that make me feel at peace. I mean, recently, like I was saying when we did my podcast, I've kind of gone through this spiritual awakening and developed this like deep sense of inner peace, so I can kind of move through changes in my life without feeling like massive amounts of stress, or if I do, it's returning to that peace. And I think what's helped that, what's kind of developed that, would be just like obviously meditating helps, being in nature, just like getting out for a walk every day, and I think again, just like being happy with doing what I'm doing, like that gives me a sense of peace, because like, yeah, I'm like, I love my life. There's nothing to really be stressed about. Yeah, and yeah, just listening to nice music, like doing gentle things for myself, I think.
Amazing. Okay, so this is quite a difficult question. Most people struggle to answer it,
Okay.
but we'll try. What speaks to your soul?
Oh, what speaks to my soul? I feel like there's quite a few things that speak to my soul, but I think it depends on the context. Yeah, I think obviously like music and like being creative and kind of that kind of stuff gives me a lot of like passion and fulfills me in that way. What specifically speaks to my soul? I think again, it's just for me, like the big thing is just having an impact and helping people, really, like helping people to grow, helping people to raise their own awareness and their own consciousness, so that like it has a knock-on effect on the entirety of humanity. So I think that's like the bigger thing, but like little things are just music, yeah, stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah, sometimes it's just very simple. We don't have to have like these big things that speak to us.
Yeah,
It can just
exactly.
be little
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, could you please tell us some important qualities in the people you surround yourself with?
Okay, this is something I've been working on recently, actually, like trying to attract people and connect with people who I feel like I'm aligned with. And I think for me, like in relationships, the biggest thing is just being honest and having like open communication. Just like showing up authentically and being able to be vulnerable, have difficult conversations if they come up, because I think in society we try and avoid all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think that's really important, just being authentic and communicating and trying to understand each other without having like judgment towards the other person. Yeah, and just generally like having a little bit of fun with people, like yeah, having like a laugh. And I think I also pick up on people's energy as well, so like having someone who's kind of energetically similar. Yeah, I think those are kind of the quality. I think it's a bit of a mix really, but yeah.
So do you define yourself as an empath?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to like focus on like my own energy at the moment and like containing that, so that I'm trying not to pick up on people's energies too much. But I think, yeah, like I think because of the people pleasing side to me, I naturally pick up on other people's energies and that kind of thing, which is okay sometimes. It's okay when you're trying to like connect with people and read them, but at the same time it's like difficult to protect yourself, I think.
It must be very difficult with your job.
Yeah, I think I mean I talk about this a lot like on my Instagram and stuff, like focusing on like prioritizing your needs before trying to help other people is like a really, really big thing for me. So like, yeah, just making sure I'm kind of okay before I go and talk to other people, and yeah, setting boundaries I think for myself as well is a part of it. So yeah, there's ways around it, but I think obviously again I do pick up on people's energies quite a lot, so it's sometimes something that I slip into, but yeah, working on it.
Always a work in progress, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, do you have any quotes that you want to share with us?
Yes, my favorite quote that I've got at the moment, it's on my wall, so I'm just gonna read it out, which is quite handy. But it's by Bob Marley, and it says, "My heart is at ease knowing that what is meant for me will never miss me, and that which misses me was never meant for me." So it's a bit of like a trust the process kind of thing, like everything's happening as it should be, which is what I've been going into a lot more and just trying to like let things unfold as they're meant to. So yeah, it's my favorite quote at the moment, but who knows, it might change.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have to, I think I want to frame some quotes just so I can see them every day. So I might have to include that one.
Yeah, that's what I do. I've got a couple on my wall, but that's my favorite one.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that with us. And thank you for being on the podcast.
It's all right.
You
Thank
are welcome back. Welcome back anytime. There's always something to talk about, I'm sure, with you because we're both quite aligned in this way.
Yes, yeah, definitely. But no, thank you. It's been really interesting.
Amazing.